teacher here at Paladin Head Start, and we welcome all of you. Rudolf Haken has been a very dear friend of my husband and I for a long time, for 20 years, over 20 years. Oh my goodness. And then when we just watched him develop into such a wonderful human being, I mean, he's extremely talented, he's a composer and a great violist, and then he has this electric string thing going on, the only one in the world, an electric string program that has a doctor, a higher degree program. And this is just very close, you could go to this school. It's 2 hours away. And we're very proud, let's say. And I would just like to introduce the band, and then Rudolph can talk to you more about it. That's Anna Wallace at the end. Then Carrie Broker next to her. To Sarah Schultz. And Naila Ali.
All right, thank you, Sunny. Thanks for that introduction. So, yeah, I teach electric strings at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, which is in scenic central Illinois. And yeah, as Sunny mentioned, this is the only place in the world where you can get a degree in electric strings. And so today we'd like to show you all the different sounds these instruments can make and all the different styles of music we play. So one of my sort of philosophies is that it's about playing electric strings. It's not about playing a certain style of music. So everybody comes in playing whatever they feel like. So I have students playing Indian classical music and funk and rock and jazz and classical music, anything. So I never get bored. I don't ever have a day it's like the same old stuff over and over and over again. Not that it's that way with the but yeah, it's a wonderful way to spend my time teaching. So I'd like to start with a demonstration of what most people think of. They think of electric strings imitating electric guitar, and this we can do, so I'll show you that. Which I remember from my childhood. I grew up without a TV, but I would go to the Kmart, they'd have TVs playing different channels. Yeah, I go ride my bike there just so I could watch TV. My mom didn't know that. And there I saw Van Halen improvising, and he was like sitting at the edge of the stage with his legs would sort of dangle like a little kid in like grandpa's rocking chair or something. And he had this smile on his face and cigarette burn. Oh, I should have mentioned that. But like there, and it was super inspiring. So that's always been a favorite. But you can also make very normal. Sounds there, and the way I'm changing all these sounds is through this effects box called a helix. And there are many, many effects boxes. So Naila has this Boss NE80 there, which is another one. And Sarah actually has an amp with different effects built in. So I have tens of thousands of effects at my disposal. So I'm just going to show you a few of them. This is it's sort of an ambient thing. You can get a whole lot of reverb. Like that, create this kind of atmosphere. And there are very one of the things I recommend to students is to spend, of their practice time, to spend about an hour a day just goofing off. Which means just try out these effects. Just go through them. It's like, wow, what happens with this? And how can you combine playing techniques you learn on an acoustic instrument with different effects? So. Ponticello, playing at the bridge, with all these different atmospheric effects. And then you can also experiment. This next patch is called Experiment, because this is this empty preset I have where I just mess with all the controls on this thing. I just played, but it can give you some ideas when you're playing, or you're playing a concerto, or you're playing something, or you're writing a piece of music. Wow, what can I do with that? So there are kind of two ways to go about creating music. One is you have something in your mind, and then you find a sound that matches what you have in your mind, or you find a cool sound and say, hey, what can I create that matches that sound? So you can kind of get it go both ways. So here's another one with sort of a pitch, shift, and delay. Change how fast that goes. And I hook this up to my laptop, and there's software I can change all the parameters. So I can make it go dum, bum, ba, da, da, or whatever I want it to do. And then this thing also comes with some built-in effects that combine all kinds of things. So it combines a really long reverb with a pitch change. Okay, I want to hear everybody say, wow! 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 to the plunger that trombonists use, a lot like that. So that kind of effect was made for guitar and then used on. And then there's also obviously distortion, like I was using in Van Halen, but then you have distortion combined with the wah. You can go like. You can just kind of scratch that and get these kind of cool, like that. You got all kinds of sounds like that, and then there's a whammy. And this pedal is a little squeaky, I need to loosen it, but oh well. There's another effect for you. And so that's a whammy, which is actually originally something on the guitar. You loosen the strings all the way and then have them come back. So there's this kind of thing where guitarists and bowed instrument players go back and forth imitating each other. Every instrument tries to do something other instruments do. So the wah that a trombone or a trumpet has, you do with the pedal, and the slides we can do, guitarists do with a whammy bar, and then you have a whammy pedal that does it. It keeps going. So, and then you have these cool. These kind of little sort of flange effects, and now if you you notice we don't have a cello here, and we don't have a bass, but here I can kind of play the bass.
Oh, wow.
So that's with, kind of with this octave pedal. And now that wobble you heard before combined with the bass. So. So it has kind of a. All right, and then. This one has sound, the pitch I'm playing and the pitch up an octave. So. So it's kind of like it's being played on a pipe organ, which, by the way, that piece originally was written for. We all know it as a violin partita, but it was actually originally part of a cantata. All right, so now, does everybody here know what a looper is? So a looper records your playing and plays it back. So I kind of hooked up a looper to this helix so I can record something with one sound and then play over it with another sound and play over it with another. So I'll just do a very brief demonstration of a piece by Frank Zappa here. So what that means is, for me as just one human being up here with this instrument, I can sort of create something that vaguely sounds like, you know, I mean, the first thing is supposed to be a sitar on the order. That does not sound like a sitar here. But just basically four very different instruments in very different ranges. And then I can kind of make a band out of it. And so that's what loopers, especially in combination with these effects pedals, are useful for. And then there are these subtle, just weird sounds. Kind of just little changes to the. So I like taking these sounds and just see what I can, make out of them. Where, it's a canon, so two people play the same thing, but you can just have one person play it, right? And it's very good for kids learning how to play rhythmically, because if you mess up, you can't blame the other person. Because you are the other person. Yeah. So those are just some of many millions of effects you can have. And for example, I could shorten or lengthen the time it repeats. I could have it repeat 3 times. It's basically endlessly customizable, which is it's really kind of fun, and it's actually not very difficult to figure out. Like you have a software. All right, Naila, could you demonstrate the Boss ME80, which is kind of equivalent to this? Show us what that does.
Okay, so I'm just gonna play a little something, and you can kind of like combine a lot of the different sounds. So if I put them all together, it might sound kind of crazy, but you can definitely do that. So.
Is really cool because, as a string student at a university, you always have to do these exams where you play scales and thirds. And it's pretty easy with that. And so that brings me kind of to another point. A lot of people say, well, that's cheating, right? But to me, that's just using tools. I mean, that's, that's a sign of intelligence for any animal to use tools, including human beings. And if you have the tools there, like, why not use them? So, that now you can also set those things, these pitches, you can set them to stay in the same key. So it's always E major or F major or F minor or whatever, or to actually play in two different keys at the same time. So you can endlessly set those. All right, Sarah, could you show us what you have built into your app here?
Okie doke. So what I have is a Fender Mustang GTX 50, and
sounds like a sports car.
yep, a lot of these amps, they're starting to come with built-in presets now, or effects. So what it does is, I have an app on my phone, just the Fender app, and it'll Bluetooth connect to my amp, and there are already several effects in here. I can make more if I want, and there are, I guess, just an endless variety of sounds. There's only two that I'm going to use today, so here those are. Which, that sounds about like a normal string instrument, so nothing too exciting there. But then there's this one that also kind of mimics an electric guitar. And there's several others in there. Those are the only two I'm going to use today, but
All right.
Very cool.
So, in days of yore, and in the olden days, like if you look at videos of Jimi Hendrix performing, first there were, different pedals, just separate pedals, and I don't think he ever had more than 5. And then people start, at one time, because it's just not practical. And then people started saying, oh no, I need more and more. And you'd see people with like entire sea of pedals on stage navigating the way through. And that's when they started saying, this is kind of ridiculous, and putting them all into these boxes. All right, so we are going to play some actual pieces for you now. And Anna will begin with a piece by Jesse Montgomery.
So I am going to also take this time to briefly explain a little bit about the range that electric instruments can have, which was briefly touched upon by Professor Hawken. But the piece that I'm going to play this week is, like I said, by Jesse Montgomery, called Rhapsody No. 1, and it was traditionally written for normal 4-string violin. However, this beast of an instrument that I have strapped to me has 7 strings, and I'll kind of demonstrate how each of these strings sound. We've got normal violin string, and as for this low string that I have here, this is a B flat, and if you can picture a cello, big instrument, the lowest string on that instrument is actually a C, which on my instrument is here. So I can go one note even lower than that. And by playing the Montgomery Rhapsody on my 7-string Viper, it allows for a little bit more flexibility and kind of a chance to show off how much of a range of notes I can actually play. So I'm going to perform maybe the first half or 2/3 of the piece for you today, and you kind of get a feel for the whole.
All right, I just turned up your volume, so can you play a few notes, and if anybody's playing loud? Good? All right.
styles in his lessons, from jazz to rock, but jazz and rock is a little hard to do when you don't have all those fun tools. So what I've been doing is really just experimenting with pieces that were originally written for acoustic violin. And you can ask yourself, what's the point to play acoustic violin on an electric? But it's fun to experiment with what you can do differently. And just, there's tons more sound. So it feels like you can let loose a little more, which has been really fun. So the next piece Anna and I are going to play is a violin duet by a Polish composer, Grażyna Basiewicz. This piece was written in 1950, and she was a violinist as well, and so she has a really great understanding of what the violin can do. And this piece is written for just two of us, but it sounds like there's a lot more of us, which is, and especially when you play it on electric violin. This is the first movement of her suite for two violins. Okay. And then the next piece I'm going to play is actually by the same composer. It is her Caprice for solo violin. And again, even though it's just one person playing, there are moments that it sounds like there's more of me. And this piece starts with a little bit of a lullaby, which kind of sweet song. And then it changes a bit, and it gets pretty fun.
So, Sarah has been writing arrangements of Legend of Zelda music. So, Sarah, you're solo.
Is this the
What, or you want to play the solo first?
Or are we doing the solo quartet?
What do you want to do? Quartet first?
Yeah, let's.
All right, let's do the quartet first. All right, so before we do this, before they play this quartet, this Bolero of Fire, I want everybody to turn your the volume knobs all the way down on your instruments, all right? Because we all know how loud electric instruments can be. But now everybody play as loudly as you possibly can with your volume knobs turned down. All right, make as much noise as you can. So, these instruments are basically endlessly quiet or endlessly loud. And one instrument, if you're in a hotel room practicing one of these, not plugged in, or you plug it in, use headphones, the neighbors will just be swatting their ears because they think there's a mosquito. Yes, so you can announce, Sarah, you can announce what this piece is. Turn your volume knob up again. That might help.
Okie doke. So, I'm a big video game enthusiast. One of my personal favorite video games of all time is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time because the music is just that good. It's so good that I decided I wanted to write a whole suite based off of it for my electric violin viola. And so I did that, and I decided, you know what? We have a big group of lovely people here who all play electric strings. Why don't I take one of those movements and write it for a quartet instead of just a solo? So, this is my quartet arrangement of Bolero of Fire from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
how long is your solo?
Not very long.
All right, yeah, let's hear that.
Okie doke. So, this next solo, I'm gonna plug in a backtrack for my phone. Because I can do that kind of stuff. Anyways, how many of y'all kids like to play Mario Kart? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. This one's, yep, it's like that. So then, in that case, this one should be pretty familiar. This is from one of the more recent Mario Kart games, Toad Harbor. It is quite fun.
Composition by Naila Ali. So, there's some notice on your computer that maybe before we start the backtrack, maybe you can, what do I do? Okay? It says, do you want to use the audio device Spark?
No.
No. No, don't use it. Yeah, you better do this. I'm gonna mess something up. Sorry. All right. All right. All right. So, you want to actually? I'm just gonna test. I'm absolutely sure this works. Oh, this isn't moving. Oh, now it is. All right. All right. So, tell us about your piece.
Yeah, so this piece is called Funk. It's spelled Phunq, just to be funky. I originally started writing this piece in 2017, and then incredible piece. And yeah, like this is definitely a piece that's inspired by sort of like 1970s like funk and also rock. So yeah.
All right, all right.
One, two, ready, go.
thank you all for coming out this evening, and thank you, my wonderful bandmates here, for traveling here.
Yeah.
The other side of the material tomorrow evening at the First Presbyterian Church at 7
Yes.
p.m. And hopefully we'll be back. We have tons more material today, a lot more students. And also I wanted to mention that they do make electric violins in miniature, tiny fractional sizes.
Yes, they do.
So, you know, a good way to punish your neighbors is to give their kid a drum kit, right? That's always the thing. But give them an electric violin and a big amp, and you can, you can really delight their parents. But yeah, so these instruments really have. What I like about them, especially, is there's so many possibilities, and they keep expanding. There's always new software, new devices, and new solutions to old problems. I mean, just the basic sound of the instrument has improved greatly. Just because people try it out and say, oh, yeah, like these magnetic pickups they used to use, they kind of give you pitch tone, so now they use the piezo pickups, and even within those, there are constant improvements. But of course, the only way those improvements are made is by people using them. So it's all kind of an experimental field, and I am having the time of my life working with these glorious young people on this. So thank you.
Thank you, beautiful ladies, and thank all of you for coming, and especially thank Paladin for this new venue and this new collaboration that we've started, which is such a blessing. I can't believe it. So, yes, definitely come and see these ladies again tomorrow night, and Rudolph, plus many other delights. And there's a banquet prepared for you if you want to stay and have dinner.
Thursday night.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, thank you. Thursday night, there will be another program right here. It will be very different. It will be, for one thing, very low tech. The violins will be what they've come to call Amish. And the entertainment will all be acoustic. Thank you. You know,
And there are
the next
places to
program.
park horse carriages outside.
That's right. It's called Baby Beethoven, and Rudolph will be in it. So will my husband Nicholas. I think Zosha's here. She'll stand up, Zosha. Wave. Hi. She'll be there.
Wesley.
We have a lot of talent. And
Wesley Baldwin.
Oh yes. Oh, there's Wesley.
Yeah.
Wesley will also. So that's the whole quartet, and they'll be playing for that concert, and I hope it'll be very entertaining. It's a story, and you know, we'll all try our hand at things that we're totally uncomfortable doing, like acting, singing. It'll be great. Come, please. And then on Saturday, at the same time, 6 o'clock, these are all at 6, we will have another concert in which Miss Jones will be featured.
Woo!
Soprano, and a lot of the same people. So, thank you very much.